Hi everybody, welcome to Life Hacks. In this video, we are going to talk about certain situations in your work life which are quite common to many of you, and how do you deal with this situation. In business or in work, we spend many business days holding meetings and discussions on what should we do. Should we do this or should we do that? There is no clear-cut solution many times. There are groups who argue, they blame each other, and it looks like we keep going in circles rather than coming to a clear-cut solution and moving forward. As a result of these meetings or such interaction, we get tired, we are exhausted, we feel we have not progressed any further, and at many times this could lead to job dissatisfaction for many of the employees. Can we solve this situation? Can we deal with it better than what we generally do? The book How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie puts it beautifully in a chapter, How to Eliminate 50% of Your Business Worries. So here's the solution. This is quite in line with the other videos that I have done, where we define the problem, we analyze, then we think of a solution and we start implementing the solution. This is a good solution. When you have these situations where there is confusion, there is no clear way forward, what we do as a first step is we define the problem. Then we find out what is the cause of the problem. For this, we do an unbiased data collection and analysis. Then, based on the analysis, we explore what are the different solutions of this problem. And lastly, when you see these solutions, you say, okay, what is the solution that I suggest that we take forward and apply? When you have data and analysis and many of the suggested solutions, the right solution may come out automatically looking at the various options. You can suggest your managees to come to you with all these 4 points. Before they come to you, they should clearly define the problem, they should have data for the cause, they should know what is causing it, then what are the various solutions possible, and what is the solution that they propose. Many times it is seen following these techniques removes many of the meetings. There are no need for many of the meetings because each team can follow this template and come out with the solution on their own. Let's take an example of how this solution helped a salesman. Here is a salesman who is doing calls to sell his product. He realizes that many of his calls or most of his calls are not resulting into sales. If he tries to apply this template, the first step will be defining the problem. That is, I'm not making money, I'm trying to call people and they don't close. I keep calling them and they seem to be not interested. So as a next step, let's come to why, or what is the cause of this problem. So what he does is he goes back and looks at the logs of all his calls, and he tries to see a pattern of his sales versus the effort, that is the calls he made. He makes a surprising discovery. What he finds out is 70% of his customers close on the first call itself. That is, if they want the product and if the salesman calls them, they say, yes, give me the product, I'm ready to pay. There is this other group of 23% who needs a little bit of time to think, so they close on the second call. Then he sees there is a third group, that is the 7%. For this 7%, he has to call these customers multiple times. The second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and still many of them don't close. Looking at the data, now he starts thinking of what are the various solutions. Should he concentrate on a particular group? Should he try to engage the customers in a different manner? It becomes obvious to him that if he focuses on the 70% and the 23% of the group, he gets more bang on his buck. That is, if he spends most of his time trying to go after those customers who are genuinely interested, in other words, they are ready to close as soon as he talks to them, or maybe needs some time to think, and when he calls them back again, they are ready to close. Those kind of the customers are the real customers who would help him grow faster. So what does he do? He changes his strategy. He focuses on those customers who are ready to close on the first or the second call. He doesn't call those customers who need a third call. As a result of this, he increases his sales drastically. Why? Because most of his energy and time is now focused on customers who are really interested. He realizes he used to spend 50% of his day in trying to make the calls for those other 7% who are not really interested, or are less interested, or are not ready to close. Many times we've heard of this statement, focus on your strengths. The book Atomic Habits encourages us to design systems that give maximum returns, reducing friction and wasted effort. Hope following this template helps you reduce your worries at work. If you liked the video, please press the like button. Please subscribe the channel so that you get to know when the new videos come out, and please share the video with your friends. Thank you.